Every time you step onto a train, you're placing your trust in this massive, totally hidden world of engineering. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that world. We're going to dive into the digital revolution that's changing one of the most complex jobs on the planet, keeping our trains running safe and on time. So, think about this for a second. A modern train, it's not just a vehicle. It's really more like a moving city with literally a million interconnected parts. And for decades, trying to maintain them was just this gigantic task of paperwork and pure guesswork. It is so hard to overstate the scale of this challenge. And that really gets us to the heart of the problem, the old way of doing things. For the longest time, the biggest challenge wasn't even fixing the trains. Nope, it was just navigating the mountains of paperwork you had to get through just to start the job. Okay, so just imagine an old school depot for a minute. You've got managers juggling phone calls, shuffling paper job cards. Information is buried in filing cabinets or lost in spreadsheets that don't talk to each other. It's chaos. Now picture the new way. One single real-time dashboard that shows everything, what's being worked on, who's doing it, and what's coming up next. The difference? It's literally night and day. This whole process, it actually has a name, MRO. It stands for Maintenance, Repair, and Overhaul. And it's the absolute lifeblood of the railway. It's this constant cycle of checks and fixes that make sure every journey is safe. When MRO goes wrong, trains get delayed, or worse, they become unsafe. So you can see, getting it right is, it's completely non-negotiable. So how do you fix a problem like the paper trail? Well, you replace it. You replace it with a smart digital workflow. And this isn't just about going paperless, not at all. It's about building an entirely new, smarter strategy from the ground up. A really good modern maintenance strategy is like a continuous loop. Yeah, it starts with understanding the train and setting clear goals, safety, reliability, you name it. But the real magic happens in those last steps. You implement, you monitor, and then you use that data to continuously improve. That last part, that was basically impossible with paper. And that's where technology becomes a total game changer. And here are the kinds of tools that make all this possible. It all starts with a cloud-based platform, right? So everyone, anywhere, has the latest info. Then you get these customizable templates for any kind of train or job. You get real-time tracking, so there's no more guesswork. And maybe most importantly, you get data analytics. That's what helps you make smarter and smarter decisions over time. Okay, so that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like on the depot floor in the real world? Let's go inside a real maintenance event, what's called a digital exam, and see how all these little clicks and signatures actually come together. So here we go. We're looking at a real X24 exam that was performed on train unit 82303. This isn't some made-up example. This is a real-world, comprehensive inspection where every single step was logged digitally. Think of this as the command center view. A manager can just look at this and see instantly that every major block, from air systems to brakes to the body shell, is 100% complete. And not just complete, but digitally signed off by the supervisor in charge, like Alfred Henshaw or Ryan McCraner. There's zero ambiguity here, just total clarity on what's been done. Now, what's really cool is the detail that's hiding behind that 100%. So let's zoom in a bit. We're going to look at Block 2, the brakes, and actually follow the work of a technician named Moises Abanda as he does the inspection. And here is where things get really powerful. The system doesn't just know that the work got done, it knows exactly how long it took. For this specific brake inspection, 3 hours. On the dot. Now, this isn't some estimate someone jotted down on a timesheet. No, this is precise data captured in the moment. And with data like that, managers can plan schedules better, understand how efficient their teams are, and even spot delays before they happen. And it gets even more detailed. During those 3 hours, the system logged that exactly 8 brake pads were replaced. Now just stop and think about what that single number tells you. Over time, you can start to track wear rates across the entire fleet of trains. You can predict when you'll need to order more parts and make sure you always have the right inventory on hand. It all starts by capturing this one simple, accurate piece of data. And this is the moment of truth. This is all about accountability. Before a supervisor can sign off on a block of work, they have to digitally check a box that says this. They're verifying that every task is done, the data is right, and any problems have been properly dealt with. It builds this unbreakable chain of digital trust right into the workflow itself. So what you start to see is that all these individual clicks, all these signatures and data points, they all add up to something much, much bigger. They create a system of record that has massive benefits for the entire operation. All that detailed data we just saw, the hours spent, the parts that were replaced, it feeds directly into the big metrics that the industry runs on, things like reliability, availability, safety. So you can answer the big questions. Are our trains more reliable? Are they available for service more often? Are they safer? The answers are no longer just a guess. They are right there in the data. And this all leads to one of the biggest wins of all, proof. In an industry as highly regulated as rail, you have to be able to prove you did the work correctly. This digital system creates a complete, unchangeable audit trail for every single action taken. It's the ultimate proof that every safety check was done and every single standard was met. This digital transformation, it's not just about doing the old job a little bit better. It's really paving the way for a completely new and much smarter approach to keeping things running. The real revolution is this shift from being reactive to being predictive. See, with every exam, the digital history of every single component just gets deeper and more detailed. So we're moving away from a world of fixing things when they break to a world where the data can tell us they're about to break, which means we can fix them first. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to end on. What happens, what becomes possible, when every single part of a complex machine, every nut, every bolt, every brake pad, has its own detailed, data-rich story, right from the day it was installed? It stops being just about better trains. It becomes a blueprint for how we maintain the entire complex mechanical world that's all around us.